Alright, so this is the 10 minutes speaking. Let's start it. Our brain constantly changes. Every second it changes, every experience is changing. If I pull your brain out of your head, if I did some brain surgery on you right now with a wand and hold your brain in my hand, it's not going to do anything, and a little bit all day long. You did nothing, your body will function. No genome, no genetic activation. Nothing will happen, no chance will switch on. But the fact that you are alive and have done that, the only reason your brain and genes are doing anything is because of your thinking and feeling choosing. If Friday of obesity you switch on your thinking, feeling, choosing, switches your genes on. We are not thinking, feeling, choosing. Doesn't matter. The fact that the part we are not have not done enough research on that in the last 50 years. Myself researching, we got focused on that because otherwise I can use my brain as an skill for everything which is the day and age we live in. You can make register work. You got HD, the advice they go to, they got to say that what they that's why no that's not. Those are effects. I can be raised in the same household, but it's really the same challenges and for some parents or twin. Everything could be identical, the same experience. By 20 years old, I can still view the world in different way than you. You're from birth. You're from birth totally different. This is why we see studies of identical twins where you have one that in old age and what it underlies in one who is still farting up and still going along. You know how you perceive things make your body work for against you. Your mind is moving through your brain. Your brain builds that perception physically into your brain. So you're thinking, feeling, choosing, moment to moment of every day. And if other second scenario, we are constantly seeing a negative. So if I have now more than 33 days, got it taught in a certain way, I have built a very strong series in my brain. A jury is a thought. Our thoughts are real things. They look like trees. They occupy mental real estate. They're made of proteins, I agree. They are 100% actually. Right now you are growing. There's a bit of 4 billion oxygen you're converting my words and so the listeners. It's just in the brain. But now if you have got a habit you've done from thinking for years, you throw it away for years. Because of honest because of environment. So there's no tricky point with this what I feel beside. We nurture environment and always also decide. And there's the I factor. The two things going through life something but how they see it. So each experience is now adding more and more layers to and to cause to him, prompt him, perceiving. I may perceive the two things. One perceives the relationship in this way perceive the situation in this way in this way. Just nature was building with the brain. And as you keep thinking in that certain way solution, but what do you think about the most roles into the toxic? That's the part that I fully see that. You can change person very easily to stand back, observe your own thinking. The neuroscience that have designed as soon as the physics of that. You can stand back and observe your own thinking. And you can show someone, can you see you being a negative? Can you see that that is and you can keep so by showing people there's always a way for someone to see but everyone will choose to do that. So someone has done something and they have been with it for more than 2 3 days. They have worked a problem in the brain, like pathway looks like toxic state. That's why I use this. It's written to all computers, and those computers have been very established. This takes 1 days to build a long-term memory. It takes 2 3 days to minimum to build a habit to maximum days we've been told. So see anything after that you're going to expert level. So if I have for 6 years being warrior, I'm an expert warrior. And what does it mean of who I am? It will be I've become so I cannot become. It's hard work and we have to do a lot of my work. A little bit of my management. I think if you have the advertisement for 15 seconds, just wait for them for a little bit. Right. My management to use emotional signals like depression and anxiety. And I have used that to find out what is the cause of why I'm so negative. Not even a long-term memory can be reconceptualized, and that means I always remember. So let's say, for example, If someone sees the class half empty, and if just been in that, it's just like as people do, are just always going to see the negative first. Every presentation meeting is always seen in negative. But that person can change their very well be the person being negative. But they can actually unwind that they can get to the point where it's a lot of work. You're going to go to the pain doing anything that you don't want to this day. But you can change that and reverse that process. With 5 steps. So the 5 steps first of all is gather. Gather. Gather is a big word for embrace knowledge. Embrace that you have an expert necessity. So that the second one is going to reflect. The reflection this process. This is the most painful process. A surgeon will say my friends going to talk to friends. They said that they have to go to first get a patient to heal them, so you're going to go to the pain before it really hurt you to heal you. It's a very difficult process. It's hard. I'm not lying, but it's good. And it takes time. It's going to take up to 1 day. So the second one process is deep reflections where you are basically trying to check back to not recently back but why I'm doing this. I usually for change. Looking to change your patterns. So the first thing is to start is to text. Okay, this practice is the emotional warning signals, but it's got physical warning signals. So embracing the emotional and physical warning signals from environment and from yourself. Then thinking about this. Okay, so why am I always negative? Why am I always depressed? Why am I anxious? And as you go through the process of self-reflection, you get into the point where you're not where you just find to get to it's the little bit of the point where you find okay maybe at the end of the 1 days you see oh I'm anxious because I'm actually trying to be a perfectionist. I'm going to control everything in my environment and it's not quite working out or maybe it's because there are tumor that you've been negative with. Because the third thing is we got to this process so that we got to do our brain to do stuff we right. The process to write when you write to clean out a lot of and when I say write it's like literally thrown on page because you see my sequence that I have developed you need to spend a minute and half to 2 minutes doing each of these so you get harder for minutes and a half. You reflect for a minute and a half, you would write for a minute and a half and then you would recheck. Now recheck is the process where you go back and look for patterns that triggers your what this means. So if you think of it, I become aware of something going on. I am reflecting why I'm doing. I'm starting to get to the root. It's only a minute and a half. You must move on. Then that down maybe a bunch of jumbo that you write down. Recheck and look at your jumbo and still to get some level of color. Your then you go through it as get that audience at my little tiny task today. And it's maybe the simple as when I feel this anxiety coming on, and when I compartmentalize it, I'm gonna wonder about it tonight at 6 o'clock. A minute and a half to isolate a little bit of information you get that which the points we must only benefit every day. Not everything in day we can solve or no move on within a day. It's the little things change over time. We try and fix it quick. You can get it there. It's a process you have to dig it out of. 100% is the deep investigative detective process that you're doing. So let's say now I have you start seeing, okay, I'm worrying because that is negative. I'm still to get a glimpse of, maybe it could be this, maybe, so what I'm gonna do today as a little active reach. And that active reach is then if I see that even less like a worrying thing, I wake up and worry, that is the light, I'm stuck. And then so I say, okay, I'll wake up and worry, or let's go out today. It's the one, I have to go down that night, actually, never stop worrying. School was answer rich. I sorry as that hits me in the face. And when I say, okay, this worry, I can't do it with now. I'm going to deal with tonight. I'm going to deal with tonight. So now it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I can deal on tonight. And you go through the day. It isn't that low. So what happens is to take the energy away from worry. Every thought you build is a real living thing. It has energy. It's flowing energy. So if I take this worry toxic and I say, okay, keep watching the boss. I'm not going to deal with you and critically self thinking about it. By the time 6 o'clock tonight comes 2 hours later, that thing's lost energy. Back in the 80s, I was trained. As the brain couldn't change, I changed that I didn't work with people that had traumatic brain injury, like Major. They had been written off by neurosurgeons and neurosurgeons and to deliberate intentional building of the brain, learning, growing the brain, studying daily. Went back to university, ended up finishing school, getting a high grade, and what this kid had been written off as vegetable. And I've seen that happen way too often. Just media many scientists to have since shown that When you use your mind, your brain, when you use your mind, your brain will change. All right. So I think that this is the end of this 10-minute speaking video. And also, I finished the 10-minute speaking video, 30-minute speaking video, and the French video. It has a really huge impact and huge, really good stuff for myself. Where I really want to improve my French and I really want to improve my English speaking skills. Alright, so that is the end of this video for today. I hope you guys have a really good day. Bye guys. See you later. Bye guys. See you later. Actually see you tomorrow.